Right, welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen. Ava DuVernay's New Gods, James Wan's The Trench. These are two DC movies that are no longer moving forward at Warner Brothers. Confirmed, it's an exclusive over on The Hollywood Reporter. No April Fools, this is confirmed. And it's fascinating as well, because to me, it goes to show, again, like the title in the video, Warner Brothers distancing themselves further and further from Zack Snyder's Justice League and what people were calling, the Snyderverse. That's what it seems to me, anyway. But also, realistically, what was the Trench? It was such a weird decision to do the Trench. I understand the New Gods, right? That makes sense. Yeah, epic world, could have been fantastic. The Trench was just one of those weird decisions. Well, one of many weird decisions that Warner Brothers have made. Their general properties that they have. It's almost as dumb, not as dumb, but almost as dumb as Sony wanting to do an Aunt May spin-off for the Spider-Man universe. It's just that we're capitalised on everything, because obviously Aquaman made like $1 billion or something like that. So they just wanted to make something, just keep making more. Ridiculous. So let's dive into it, right? Let's have a look. The terror of the deep and the fire of apocalypse won't be felt anytime soon. I have no sense of disappointment, I guess, for the New Gods being removed. And the reason being is Ava DuVernay, she's not a particularly nice person. Very, very race-baity over on Twitter. Very, very much so. And the fact is in this article, it indicates as well that if they were to move forward, it would still move forward with the same individuals. And I don't want to see her direct this. I'm not interested in anything from her. Ever. This is one of those people that literally sits there and says, well, if you're a white dude, it's not made for you, so don't watch it. It's like, I won't. No worries. I will not. But anyway, Warner Brothers and DC Films' upcoming slate is moving forward without Ava DuVernay's New Gods and James Wan's Aquaman spin-off The Trench. As part of our DC slate, some legacy titles, including New Gods and The Trench, will not be moving forward, Warner Brothers and DC said in a statement. We thank our partners Ava DuVernay, Tom King, James Wan and Peter Safran for their time and collaboration during this process and look forward to our continued partnership with them on other DC stories. The projects will remain in their skillful hands if they were to move forward in the future. Again, who is actually interested in that moving forwards now? Probably not many. I think the concept of the Trench was an interesting idea, but it doesn't relate to anything in the DC universe. It was not going to attach itself to anything, anywhere. The New Gods is the only thing which seemingly had connective tissue to the wider universe. So New Gods, which Ava DuVernay had been developing as a directing vehicle with acclaimed comic book writer Tom King since 2018, would have brought to the screen the comic book characters created by the late and legendary artist Jack Kirby. DuVernay, however, remains in the DC fold and is currently working on the DC series Naomi for the CW. So that is just going to be fantastic. Not. The Trench, meanwhile, was to have been a horror-tinged project spinning out of Aquaman and focused on the group of deadly amphibious creatures seen in the $1 billion grossing 2018 film. I get it. It could have been cool, but it's kind of one of those things that you just look at and you go, why? Why? It's just weird. It's a weird choice to have. Noah Gardner and Aidan Fitzgerald had written the script, which Wan was developing as a producer with collaborator Peter Safran. Wan, too, remains in the DC fold as he is prepping to shoot Aquaman 2 for the studio later this year. Now, the projects are being shelved, but like many comic characters could come to life down the road, DC Films, led by President Walter Hamada, is leaving the door open to revisit these properties in the future. But insiders note when it became clear the upcoming DC slate did not have a natural spot for New Gods or The Trench over the next few years, executives believed it was best not to leave the filmmakers hanging in development without a clear end in sight. But also, it's like, well, they were very much connected to what Zack Snyder had done. At the very least, like, it was spin-offs of what he was making. So to remove them says to me that they are doubling down on the previous, I think it was a Hollywood Reporter interview with Ann Sarnoff, where she was like, no, we're done, we're moving on. That seems to me, anyway, that's what's happening. So DC is currently building an interconnected slate, which projects will feed in and out of the big screen and the small. With films such as James Gunn's The Suicide Squad spinning off into John Cena-led HBO Max series Peacemaker, and Matt Reeves' The Batman, which would then have its own Gotham PD series on HBO Max. Which, those things I'm looking forward to personally, but again, it's that stepping away further and further from Zack Snyder's work. Now, DuVernay obviously took to Twitter. I'm amazed she didn't claim racism, to be fair. So she says, Tom, I love writing New Gods with you. DuVernay wrote on Twitter, along with a photo of herself with King. I'm upset that the saga of Barda, Scott, Granny, Highfather, and the Furies ends this way. Diving into Kirby's fourth world was the adventure of a lifetime. That can't be taken away. Thank you for your friendship, and remember, #DarkSideIs. With the Trench, sources say that the upcoming Aquaman sequel was considered enough. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on. That's just obvious, isn't it? Like, what were they doing with that film? So strange. But Warner's could come back to it down the line if there is thirst for more adventures set in the Atlantean kingdoms. With who? Like, who are the monsters going up against? If it's a horror film, it's not DC, is it? It's just a horror film. Just make it as a horror film. Repurpose it into a modern day horror film where, I don't know, humans are going down into the Mariana Trench. I don't know. Just repurpose it for something like that. It's such a weird decision to connect a horror film to DC. And I am all for comic book movies taking a subgenre or a genre of film and tagging on comic book movies to it, right? I like that. That's smart, and it makes them less played out. A heist movie, a love movie, like, there's just a spy movie. There's so many things you could do. So a horror movie could work, but weird choice. It was also considered a possibility for streaming, but is more of a standalone story rather than having a strong tie into Aquaman or the rest of the DC universe. Again, so it's just like, just why? Like, just repurpose it, rewrite it into a horror film. That would work fine. A New Gods, which would have been a sprawling tale, was complicated by the fact that its villain, Darkseid, just appeared as a major foil in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there was a desire to have space between the latter and any new appearances. So again, way away from Zack Snyder's work. They are pushing on. That boat is rowing down the stream. Seriously. Except for The Batman, which is set on an alternate Earth known to geeks as Earth 2. DC is plotting its films and shows to share the same universe. Key to setting up its new status quo will be The Flash, which will tackle the multiverse, and is said to also lend clarity to the future of the Justice League with multiple Batmen, as well as Supergirl appearing. Fascinating. That will be fascinating to see what they do. Because a lot of people have been saying for many years, but about 2 now, I think, that The Flash will basically just rewrite DC's universe and just chuck out some old crap and put in some new stuff. It's a good opportunity to do it. It works with the storyline. Why not? Other projects on the slate due out in 2022, 2023 include Warner's and New Line's Black Adam and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, Black Adam apparently is being rallied by Dwayne Johnson as a vehicle for him to move forward and hopefully combat the Justice League and also Henry Cavill's Superman and stuff like that. Which, look, if Dwayne Johnson is one of the key reasons we get Henry Cavill back as Superman, epic. Love it. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. He's really, really good. So I'm all for that. Like, absolutely. And I'm quite looking forward to Shazam! Fury of the Gods, actually. The first one had a good message, like good family morals and things like that. It wasn't the best film by any stretch of the imagination, but I had a good time with it. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward to a sequel to that. And then we get Blue Beetle, Batgirl, Supergirl, Green Lantern Corps, and Static Shock. Static Shock I'm actually looking forward to be perfectly honest. I used to like that cartoon. That was good fun. Zatanna and a third Wonder Woman are also in development, while an upcoming Superman from producer J.J. Abrams and screenwriter Ta-Nehisi Coates is too early in development to say if it will be connected to the larger DC universe, or if, like the Batman, it will be its own standalone thing. let's hope that J.J. Abrams' Superman is, because of Ta-Nehisi Coates, is like Ava DuVernay, but like times 1,000. Awful person. Awful human being. Genuinely an awful human being. So there you go. What do you think? Let me know. To me, it's just like, yeah, we are going way, way, way away from Zack Snyder's stuff here. That's what it says to me. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe, give this video a like and a share. Thanks so much. Take care.